Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 23 Hardcore Series. The series where we make things difficult by putting on the highest difficulty settings and adding in some additional rules that we have to follow as well. Tonight it's round 7, we're heading to Monaco. So here we are then, ready for one of the oldest and most prestigious of the Grand Prix of the calendar in Monaco. It's also one of the ones which is one of the hardest to overtake at. That might work in our favour, potentially, if we can hold position, but it does mean that given the lack of performance in our car, we are also probably likely to struggle to make up many places, if any, tonight. We are definitely going to be going aggressive with the tyre strategy in terms of a two-stop, because I think that's probably our best chance. Although we may, actually thinking about it, no, maybe the one-stop is the better idea. The two-stop will definitely give us more pace, but given our struggles in overtaking, maybe the one-stop is the better way to go. Need to think about this one while we're going through practice. Evening, Baron. Good to see you tonight. Right, let's see, where did we get to before we logged off? We didn't do anything, actually. We just ended the race and ended the stream. So we haven't checked our inbox yet. We did fail the front wing and suspension on car part inspection there. So we need to change those on car 1. F2 talents. Zay Maloney has been earmarked as a potential talent. And oh, look at that! We no longer have Teo on the podium. What happened to Teo? Let's have a look. In the sprint, he was 7th, and then 5th in the race. So not a great weekend for Teo, but he still must be absolutely dominating that championship. I am actually kind of curious. Let's have a look. Let's go to the F2 championship. And yeah, there we go. So 4 wins, 4 podiums, 5 pole positions, 3 fastest laps, and is comfortably ahead of Daruvula. But Daruvula did pick up some strong points and actually jumped above Iwasa by the look of it quite recently. Let's see who else is doing quite well. Freddie Vesti's down in 12th, not having a great season, and he was driving for Kramer as well. I wonder if they've actually moulded in the usual successes of the teams themselves, or just the drivers. I would imagine probably just the drivers, because Kramer are the team you want to be with, really, if you want to make it good in F2. Right, let's sort out the car. So let's swap out that front wing. There we go. Got 1 spare left, and a couple of spare suspensions, I think. Let's have a look. 1 spare suspension, that should be enough for now, I think. But we do need another front wing, given that we're going to Monaco. I'd rather have more than 1 spare front wing here, so we're just going to make 1 more. There we go. We've got 3 mil in the bank. Let's have a look. Could take a couple of engineers off to open up another slot. Let's take an engineer off the front wing. And let's get another research project going. There's going to be some technical changes to the side pods next season. So we're looking at big loss in high-speed downforce. So that's where we want to focus. Used up all of our 80 hours. So let's go with a big spike in downforce upgrades like that. Hopefully. Drop these down as well. There we go. Only got the one engineer. Unless I take a couple more off. Let's take one off there. And throw one on there. That brings it down a little bit. 15 days. Let's have a look. 15 days on the calendar. So we're looking at getting our parts there, which will be after Barcelona. And then how long will we have? Oh, we'll have a little while till Canada. And they're both going to be relatively quick to produce because, you know, wings don't take that much time to make. So we can even take an engineer off each of these. There we go. And let's pump those onto the suspension as well. There we go. Right, back to the inbox. Helipad is now upgraded. Good stuff. Still got 1.7 mil. Going to hang on to that. Side pod is manufactured. It's got some scouting results back now in Greg, Peter Prodromo, and Dirk Beer. Dirk is the one I was interested in. And that is a massive step up compared to what we have right now. Let's check out contract details. Oh, he's out of contract at the end of the season. Okay, so we could... No. Yeah, we could buy him out at the end of this year, I think. What do we say? Only buy out the last year of the contract. So Dicon has 2 years left on his deal. I'm guessing that's including this year. Yeah, his contract ends at the end of next season, so we could buy out the last year of his contract next season and replace him with Dirk de Beer. That would be a big get. It really would. It's just a question of whether or not Dirk de Beer would be open to negotiation, given our lowly team status. It is open to negotiation. Interesting. Peter Prodromo is not. He does not like us at all. Which means Oscar probably is also going to be in that category. We haven't checked in with Oscar for a while. Let's have a quick look. Has he changed his mind about us yet? No, he still thinks we're a rubbish team. Okay, well, we need to scout him. Check on his contract details, etc. Who else could we look at? Let's have a look at Mick. Mick could be a contender for a seat next year as well. And I do want to start thinking about who I want to, elevate into our young driver program. So Jack Crawford is in the Red Bull Junior program. As is Isaac Hajar. Enzo is now part of the Red Bull program as well. Iwas is part of the Red Bull program. Dennis Haug is part of the Red Bull program. Can't remember who Zane Maloney is part of. So we've got a few options. Let's see. Let's start with a scout report on Dennis Hauger. And then we can also then scout out Iwasa and Fittipaldi, Hajar and Crawford. Okay, 2 days to go until the Grand Prix. That's our spare front wing. now that we've freed up another slot, I am going to make that spare suspension now, because as I say, we're not planning on making or designing any new parts for a little while. Got to watch the cost cap. And we do want to have money available for engines, etc. Because we are definitely going to need to buy new engines at some point. And money is hard to come by. Right. Race day. Let's take a quick look, see if other teams have brought more upgrades again. Let's see. We are about where we were last race, I think. You know, average kind of downforce. Brakes and engines are average. We've stripped quite a bit of weight out of the car. Still not great in speed. Acceleration's good though. That will help us, given that there are a lot of low speed cornering situations where having a strong acceleration should help. Our low speed downforce is the weakest of our downforces, unfortunately, which is now a bit of a shame. Let's have a look at Williams. Yeah, we could be in trouble against Williams. Let's take a look at Alpha. We should be able to stomp all over Alpha. What about McLaren? McLaren should actually be quite close. I mean, we're about the same in terms of downforce in the low speed. Medium speed, we've definitely got an advantage. Got a slight advantage in the high speed. Acceleration, we've got a massive advantage. Our dirty air is terrible though, so that is really going to hurt us. We need those new wings. We desperately need those new wings, I think. Right. In terms of targets, again, I don't think, unless we get a little bit of luck, I don't think we're going to be getting points tonight. But maybe we can get both our cars into Q2. Let's take that gamble, see if we can get that extra cash. Finish position 2 in the top 15 should be achievable. And do we think we can get the fastest lap? Not unless we... Actually, no, not even then. Yeah, let's not try and guarantee a fastest lap. And our streaks are in place. Right, let's head to Monaco.
Welcome along to one of the biggest weekends in motorsport, here in Monaco. F1 descends on Monte Carlo for the Monaco Grand Prix, a glittering show on the Riviera and a crown for whoever can emerge victorious here. Space may be tight and overtakes few and far between, but that won't stop the drivers battling until the end on this iconic street circuit. The world's most famous street track, Circuit de Monaco, and it demands total accuracy from teams and drivers alike. Pit stops are crucially important for passing here, so timing them right can be the key to victory. In the last round, Max Verstappen flew to victory, the Dutchman proving that he can be absolutely unstoppable when he's in such fine form. Okay then, let's get to it.
All right, good weather for the weekend. That's nice to see. No worry about rain. We are going to throw in Lawson, continue working on his development. So we'll be going with soft tyres for his car. Speaking of, let's get the car set up. Let's start off with a 10, a 16, an 8.2, a 3.4, and a 0.9. There we go. We need to swap out the parts, protect that engine. And the ERS. At this point, we still need to buy that second ERS for De Vries, don't we? That new ERS for him. Where's all the money? We need more money. That's the big limiting factor for us this season, is the money. Right. Run plan for Monaco is 21 laps, so we'll go with that. But again, we'll call him in early if he is not nailed on the setup. Hard tyres for Yuki. Car parts. Again, he's running the lowest spec engine and ERS unit that we've got, and gearbox actually as well. So, you know, this unit is devolving pretty quickly. Unfortunately, he's not going to be amazingly quick here tonight. 9.5 will be his starting setup on the front wing. We're going to do a slightly different setup here. So 9.5, 16, we'll go with a 9.1, a 3.2, and we'll go with a 0.3 on the toe. So sending the car in a slightly different direction setup wise. And we are ready to hit the track.
Radio check.
Yeah, radio check.
Radio loud and clear. Quick radio check for me.
Alright, let's program in there. Avoid curbs, avoid dirty air, avoid each other instructions, and let's leave them to it. Alright, feedback is incoming. How did we do? Pretty good. We got an optimal rating set up for Sonoda on the first attempt. 97%. Needs a little tweak. What do we do with Lawson? 96. Again, very close. Not quite there. But not far off. So fingers crossed, we're going to have a very comfortable, very easy practice weekend. Minimal tweaks needed to get these cars into the optimal position. And now let's see just what little tweaks we need to make for Lawson. Here's our garage right near the end of the pit lane. Where did we go wrong? Oh wow, okay. Let's move the camber one click. And then do that with our toe, and is that going to do it? I think that might do it. Evening, Farah. How are you tonight? As we send Lawson back out, here comes Sonoda on his in lap. Mr. Walter's here as well. Evening, Mr. Walter. Yeah, if you weren't going to be here tonight, Farah, I would have messaged you after the stream just to check on things. So yeah, I've been missing in action a little bit recently, and I just want to make sure you're okay. Let's see. Do we want to try that? We're 97. I don't think we need that big a change. That might be it. That might be a bit too much, but we'll try that. And let's get Yuki back on track. Speaking of getting back on track, I wonder if we can actually get our point scoring run back on track tonight. I don't know. This is one of those really difficult circuits to judge when you have a car that's kind of not really anywhere in terms of performance. We have the potential to move forward. We also have the potential to go backward. Safety car could play a part if we get a safety car. Luck with traffic will definitely play a part here tonight. Oh, that's very close now. Just one little click of toe will get that nailed. So we're pretty much sorted with Lawson now. There we go. Oh, excuse me. We need a good qualifying. That much is a definite. If we qualify well, we've got a chance of maybe achieving something. But if we have a rough qualifying, we could really struggle.
How's the car, Yuki?
93%. We went the wrong way with those changes on Yuki's car. That's okay. We can correct that at the end of the session. You haven't been catching up on streams. How's it gone recently? What was the last one you watched? Which race was the last one you saw? Was it Baku, or have you watched Miami afterwards? Or I can't remember if you were there for Miami or not. We followed up, a double points finish in Baku with a 10th place, I think. Or maybe a 9th place in Miami. And then last night in Imola, we missed the points. But we did get the fastest lap. Although no point for it. We got the extra money for it, which is quite nice. We finished, I think, 11th and 12th. Or 11th and 13th, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, fingers crossed tonight we might be able to do something. But again, it all kind of depends on traffic. So, evening, Victor. Right, session 2. Yeah, that gearbox will make it through. Let's whack in a lot of fuel here. We want to go 46 laps of fuel. And what do we need to do for Sonoda? Okay, so we went the wrong way, so let's pull that back that way. Go to there. Push that up to there. And pull this back to there, maybe? Let's go with that. And in terms of runtime, we'll go 30 laps of fuel. And medium tyres, yes. Okay, setting them out.
Green light, green light.
On a positive, we haven't had any big, Aussie incidents since Australia. But that has obviously put us on the back foot in terms of our cars, their engine durabilities, etc. Am I finding it tougher? Well, the racing we were kind of used to, because we'd already done a few races with this difficulty setting at McLaren. But in terms of development, not really sure yet. We haven't had long enough of a sustained period of development to figure out. We've only had 7 races and kind of 1 real round of development. We are still waiting on our new wings. They will be ready after Barcelona in time for Montreal. But I do think the AI is looking a little bit quicker in development than they are normally. Perhaps. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. But we'll find out more how that's going to have an effect on our season as the season progresses, I suppose.
Let us know your comments.
But the lack of funds is always going to make this team a difficult one. When you're only earning $2 million a race, and you have, drivers that are likely to destroy the car at any given moment, then expenses start to rack up quickly, and that immediately has a massive knock-on effect onto how much development you can do when you just don't have the funds available to actually replace engine parts. You can't develop the car and replace engine parts. It's kind of, you do one or you do the other, and we're now setting up for the other. Sonoda's done for the session. His track knowledge will be around 74-75%. Yep, 74. So he'll have a nice run on softs in the final session. Reese is going to be running to the flag. One area where we could see a massive change in difficulty is how well the AI does research. Oh, we've got a red flag. Someone has had a big wobble somewhere. It's a Haas. And that's it. Time is ticked over. So one of the Haas cars was spun and parked, blocking the exit of Anthony Noakes onto the start-finish straight. I don't know which one it was, but that's what brought out the red flag. Have I seen any of Robocop yet? I actually played it for about an hour and a half or so today. It's fun. I like it. I get the feeling it's a game that might get a little bit repetitive. I am going to do a first look live stream directly after this, so I'll leave that up on the channel and people can have a look at it. I played through the first level and a bit, and I'll kind of repeat that on the live stream tonight after this. But it'll probably be a no commentary live stream. Right, final session. Medium tyres for De Vries. He got 50% track knowledge. That's pretty good. So we need to find that again. We'll go with 40 laps of fuel. We want soft tyres for Yuki. And we want to go 24 laps of fuel. It is very faithful to the source material. And it's great to see a lot of familiar faces making their appearance in the game. Anne Lewis, I'm not sure if it's her, if the actress is providing the voice, but she is obviously your partner in the games. The game is set just after the events of Robocop 2, so before they killed her off in Robocop 2. The police chief is there as well. I can't remember his name. Is it Green? He's there, but it's a very different acting voice, which kind of throws it off a little bit. There are a couple of other familiar-looking faces. Obviously, Peter Weller is in as Robo, and that's excellent. That really adds to the experience. Having Peter Weller do the voice. Visually, it looks amazing. Really does capture the feel of old Detroit and that kind of very sort of dark street punk kind of vibe of the original movies. Very weird as well, playing a first-person shooter, kind of elements of the game of first-person shooter. It's kind of weird going into that and not having to think about getting into cover and popping out to fire and then ducking back into cover. You are kind of a walking tank. I mean, you do take damage and you do have to watch your health bar, but yeah, you can just walk straight through the middle of a crowded gunfight, just blowing people away and not have to worry about ducking in and out cover. And that takes a little moment just to get used to, and to rewire your brain on that one, because it's just kind of that force of habit. I have found a bug or two already. Nothing substantial at the moment, just little minor bugs. I had one where I couldn't actually scan an item that I needed to scan to complete a mission, but I just loaded an autosave and it worked fine from that. So there are going to be some teething issues with it. There are a few weird little hiccups with the frame rate in places. It definitely runs nicer on performance mode than quality mode. There's not a massive difference in visual acuity between the two, so it's not a major problem, running it. You're not missing out on a lot of gorgeous visuals if you run it on performance mode, and the movement of the camera is so much nicer, being nice and smooth as opposed to a bit juddery and stuttery. But you do see some weird little glitching in the cutscenes as well, unfortunately, but I'm sure we'll see some patchwork being done at some point. And I have already found myself just quoting Robocop lines during one-liners. You see a guy get thrown out of the window a high-rise window very early on in the opening part of the game, and the first thing I was like, "Can you fly, Bobby?" Just I can't help it. I love the original movie. I think that might possibly blind me to a couple of issues with the game going forward. I'd have such love for the original movie. It's one of my all-time favourites. Right, practice is done. Both our drivers are in excellent position. We just missed out on 100% with Yuki, but I'm not sending him out for that 1%. We'll leave him as he is. It's good enough. De Vries will be going in with 100% confidence. 99 for Yuki. Now it is time for quali.
Welcome to qualifying. Let's find out if all that practice will pay off for the drivers.
Qualifying means everything around Monaco, with little chance of overtaking in the race. Getting as far up the grid as possible and keeping the car intact is every driver's goal on this unforgiving circuit.
Here's Fernando Alonso. Big question, how have things been for him heading into this qualifying session?
They were looking pretty sharp in practice and setting good lap times, so they're probably feeling fairly confident now. But a good practice time doesn't always guarantee a strong qualifying outcome.
Stay with us as we see who can deliver on motorsport's biggest stage.
Alright, let's get those engine parts swapped over. Go with 2 flying laps and hope that that's going to be good enough. Right, actually, I'm going to try and make these tyres last a bit better. We're going to go 1 flying lap and then we'll do 2 later in the session.
Should be great. So we need to be working on the tyres.
Yeah, A firm.
Just warm my tyres.
Yeah.
So we've got Stroll leaving the pit lane. There he goes.
So we should be good on traffic.
Oh, we've got a Ferrari of Charles Leclerc coming out. Hopefully that's not going to cause an issue.
Truck is clear.
Shouldn't be an issue for De Vries, but it might be an issue for Tsunoda. See where Yuki catches him. He's going to get through the hairpin before we get to him. That's good. So we should get him in the tunnel. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we'll get him coming out of the chicane here. Okay, well, that Ferrari is staying ahead. And now I don't think it's going to be an issue. So we kind of lucked out a little bit there. I thought that Ferrari might be problematic for us, but it hasn't been.
Delta stay negative. Run switch cool and box.
111.0 for De Vries.
Yeah.
And Tsunoda a 10th
Follow
off.
the reference.
Big
This
difference
is
now
enough.
in
This is
power
enough.
in the cars. About 20% in terms of engine power. This Red Bull engine is definitely in its degrading phase for Tsunoda. It's only just in that window for De Vries. So no real surprise there. We're probably going to need to buy 2 more engines for Tsunoda this season, and maybe just 1 more for De Vries. But yeah, engine parts are going to be horrendously expensive for us this year. We've already had to buy a new ERS unit for Tsunoda. We've got to buy one for De Vries as well. He's not going to get through the rest of the season on the one he's got left. As I say, we need at least 2 engines for Yuki and 1 for De Vries. That's another 15 million. Add in the 2.5 million for De Vries' ERS unit that we still need to buy. Gearboxes, I'm probably going to need to buy a gearbox for Yuki at some point as well, because we've already written one of those off. So we're looking at about 18.5 million in engine parts that we're going to have to pay out for still. We paid out the 2.5 for Tsunoda's first, ERS upgrade, but we might need to get another one of those for him as well. So yeah, we could be looking at another 20 million yet, 21 million in engine expenses still this season. And that's 10 races, effectively. Sponsorship money. It's going to be a very expensive engine replacement package. May have left it a little bit too late to send the cars out, so I'll probably have to take control after the first warm-up lap, or after the first flying lap.
Focus on tyres and brakes.
Copy.
In fact, it would probably behoove us to do that now, thinking about it. Just to be on the safe side.
Push on the tyres.
Copy that.
Let's push now. The tyres is good.
Copy.
Push the tyres now.
Yeah, Copy that.
Use energy.
Copy.
At least we're going to get clean track for this lap.
Use and deploy when you can.
Copy.
All right, improvement for De Vries. No improvement for Yuki. No improvement in the middle for Nick. No improvement at all for Tsunoda so far, so not a great lap for him. De Vries does improve and gets himself just into peak confidence.
We can just focus on charging the pack.
Affirm.
Lift and coast 12.
Affirm.
Slow down.
Copy.
Yuki, lift off turn 3 to avoid instability.
Copy.
Back off.
Copy that.
Recharge.
We
on.
should get ahead of the Alpine. Yep, there we go. Both cars are going through at the moment.
Pick up the pace a bit.
Copy that.
Use energy.
Copy.
Yuki, we can push one more step on tyres.
Copy.
Overtake button.
Copy.
Yuki's confidence not amazing at the moment. Vries is flying in terms of confidence right now. Got some traffic in front. Potentially. Yuki is improving in his second flying lap, that's good. Is that McLaren on a slow lap? I think it is. Might not catch it. No middle improvement. For either driver. De Vries might be our best chance of a strong finish tonight because of his engine.
Bottom of the pack.
Copy that.
He's in 12th.
No DRS available, no DRS available.
Tsunoda improves his time, but only just. Is that enough to get us through? So both McLarens are on flying laps right now, as is Zhou and Sargent. Here comes Sargent. Sargent improves to 15th. Norris crosses the line, stays 19th. What about Oscar? Goes 16th. That will see a massive improvement from Joe, but he's going to improve, surely. Up to 19th, so Norris is slowest. Wow. Did he just get a bad lap? Or is he running a really, really old engine? Let's take a look. Really old engine and a really old ERS as well. New gearbox this weekend. Piastri's engine is not much better. His ERS is slightly better. Okay, let's take a look at Albon because he was slow as well. An old engine. Old engine for Sargents. New gearbox for both drivers. Joe's running brand new engine, brand new gearbox. And still way off the pace. Let's see about Bottas. He did make it through. New ERS unit. Slightly worn engine. Who else were we close to? That was it. Gasly, another bad lap from Gasly. Are we going to expect him to come through the field? New engine for Gasly, new-ish gearbox, but old DRS. He should surely be quicker than that in the race. Doesn't seem to qualify well at the moment in that Alpine, Gasly, but he does come through the field. Right, into practice qualifying 2. We'll do 1 flying lap on these tyres, and then 2 on a new set. Let's see how high up we can actually qualify. Can we actually sneak one of our cars into Q3? I don't think we've got the pace for that, but it would be amazing if we could.
Focus on tyres.
Copy.
Prepare for the lap.
Copy.
So nobody ahead of you. It'll be go one last moment.
There is Norris in front of you.
Sargent's coming out the garage. That might again prove problematic for Tsunoda. Brees is through and fine. Looks like we're definitely going to catch him in a difficult place, probably around the hairpin. This time it's Tsunoda who's got the edge in the first sector. Need to clear this Williams before it becomes an issue. It's pulling over for us. Thank you very much, Sergeants. Much appreciated. Yeah, Yuki has the edge at the moment on this run. Brees gets his confidence way up there by setting the first flying lap and taking provisional pole.
We need to cool the PU on this in lap.
A for him.
And Yuki gets himself into peak confidence, going nearly 2/10 quicker.
This is
Excellent
Ilap.
stuff.
This is Ilap.
Copy.
So, 2 laps on a brand new set of tyres. Let's see, what can we do?
You're clear. Good to go.
Right, we're not far away from actually getting at least one of our cars into Q3 here.
Okay, track is clear.
Obviously, everyone's setting their times on scrub tyres, but we're attacking on fresh tyres with a pretty good confidence baseline here. Got a real chance to improve both drivers into peak confidence on this lap and then really, hopefully, attack the track on their second flying lap. The only potential issue we have with De Vries here is that he's in dirty air, and that's the biggest weakness we have with our car. But if he improves in every sector on this lap, is in dirty air and suffering a penalty, if he gets into clean air when Magnussen boxes for his second flying lap, we could see a really good time out of De Vries, because his confidence is going way up at the moment. No improvement for Yuki. But we are going to see De Vries moving up a little bit here. Magnussen up to 7th. De Vries stays in 11th, but is less than a tenth behind George Russell at the moment. And a 1:11.2 was that last time. 1:11.3 for Yuki. Not quick enough. Hulkenberg has joined the party, so once again De Vries is going to have a Haas in front of him.
Yeah, bunching. So go one and push when you're ready.
There's a little bit more of a gap this time, so maybe
Straight
cleaner
out,
air
track is clear.
for De Vries here. He's only 7 thousandths ahead of Hulkenberg, so needs to find improvement, because Hulkenberg surely is going to. Someone else has improved, and that's knocked Russell out. Russell on his flying lap right now. Is that Alonso in front of Tsunoda? Please tell me it's not. It's not, it's Stroll. Stroll's on a lap, I believe. No improvement for De Vries. Can Tsunoda hang on? It's not improved in the first. Oh, Stroll's on an in lap, and he gets out of the way for us. improvement for De Vries in either sector here. Or Yuki. Okay, I think we're done. It's known as out of the top 10. De Vries does not improve at all.
Currently P14. Cool as much as you can.
Copy.
Can Yuki pull out something special in the final sector? Nope. Okay, so 12th and 14th.
We are P12. This is the lap. This is the lap.
And yeah, only Alonso and Sainz are still on flying laps, so we are out. It's a bit of a shame. I thought for a moment we might have snuck a car through, but only a tenth and a half away from Magnussen. That's not too bad. Hülkenberg got himself up to 8th in the end. Russell improved up to 7th. And that is it. So Charles Leclerc takes pole position from Perez, then Verstappen, Alonso, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, Stroll, Hülkenberg and Magnussen.
The excitement is building, there's electricity in the air. But there's no surprise in that. It's race day.
Monaco can hand out unpredictable results, just like in 1982, when 4 race leaders hit trouble. Riccardo Patrese eventually claimed the win after managing to restart his stalled car by himself with a downhill bump start.
Now we see Yuki Tsunoda there, Karun. How do you think he's going to be feeling?
They've been performing well and doing exactly what the team is asking of them. They've just got to keep doing what they're doing.
And you can't get much more excitement than this on race day. It's the Monaco Grand Prix.
Right then, strategy. What are we going to do? Do I go for the safe and conservative one stop? Or do I try something a little bit more aggressive? I've got a couple of ways I could play this. I could go soft, medium, soft, soft like that. Or I could go soft, soft, medium. Why isn't that giving me a brand new set of tyres? There we go. It's going to be about exactly the same pretty much in terms of lap time. It's just a question of whether I think I'll be better off on the softs or the mediums. And we are, yeah, definitely quicker than the one stop. I think we've got to go with the two stop really, and just trust that we can find our way through some traffic. We'll go with a soft, medium, soft, I think. Go. Let's take some fuel out of the car. I'm going to be quite aggressive with this. I'm going to take 3 laps of fuel out. I'm going to go super aggressive off the line. I am expecting to get lapped at least once. And let's head to the grid.
The streets of Monte Carlo are ready as the drivers prepare for the 78 laps of the Monaco Grand Prix. And for Lando Norris, this is another chance to see what he can do in this car.
P20 is definitely not where any driver would want to find themselves. But they've got to get their head down and work hard.
And the time has come. Let's go racing. We're here and the streets are abuzz at the Monaco Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Overtake and go, come on.
Copy that.
I would dearly love to sneak one of my cars into the points at the end of this Grand Prix. See, Bottas is on hard tyres. So are some of the cars in front of Tsunoda actually. So we might, maybe, if we're lucky, sneak a place early. We can get past Ocon, Magnussen and Hulkenberg. We might have a chance of establishing a little bit of a gap before our tyres start to fall away. Got to get that move done though, that's going to be the tricky thing. And you can see already we've opened up a gap to Bottas. All over the back of Ocon right now, trying to find a way through. I'm actually going to turn the batteries off.
We need to focus on the energy now.
Try and save those for when the DRS kicks in, because we're going to need that help on the straight to actually make that move. But given that we're chasing cars on hard tyres, we should be able to keep pace with them like this for the next lap or two.
Energy.
Copy.
We are swarming all over the back of Ocon right now. DRS won't really kick in until the next time around, but maybe we can get a nice run into Sanderbot or up the hill. Okay, not getting through here.
Focus on bringing the pack back up.
Copy.
Recharge on, recharge on.
Copy.
So focus on
Ease
bringing
off
the
the
tyres
tyres
down.
just a touch.
Yes, sir.
In fact, actually, a bit more than a touch. They're already melting.
Back off, back off, back off.
Copy.
Recharge on, recharge on.
Yeah, copy.
Overtake button.
Okay.
Might be too far off the back of Ocon here. Looks like Ocon's trying to push. Or are we just slow? Please tell me we're not just that slow. That would be depressing.
Recharge on.
Copy.
Alright, we've got De Vries through.
Save fuel.
Okay.
Let's get onto the back of
Need to focus
Tsunoda.
on getting the pack up.
Copy.
And we'll tell him not to attack.
Copy.
Yeah, we are struggling to keep pace with Ocon right now. I think he might be pushing. Maybe he did what we did and saved his battery for the first couple of laps. Golden break away from Bottas though. Tyre temp's starting to come down now, that's good. We're almost back in range with Tsunoda. We have dropped Bottas. Or have we? As he closed up under braking.
Just focus on charging the pack.
Copy that.
A little bit of a lack of pace for Tsunoda right now, which is a little alarming. Might have to switch the drivers over. Gives Tsunoda a chance to charge his battery up, get Reese a chance to see if he can get onto the back of Ocon. Let's see what the lap times are. Great. Get a bit more battery into De Vries before we do consider making the switch. We'll give Tsunoda a little bit more time. But it's already not looking good. And I think we might be looking at our optimal positions here. See what happens if I give Tsunoda a little bit of battery, try and get him into range.
Charge on.
Alright, so we've got a 2-second gap to De Vries. So now we can see A, can Tsunoda stay on the back of Ocon? B, can De Vries lap quick enough to catch back up? And if he can, that means we need to think about switching our drivers.
Recharge on.
Copy.
Now to deploy when you can.
Copy.
So we are starting to pull away from Bottas. Drivers lapping pretty similarly. at the moment in terms of time. Reese has caught up a little bit, but I don't know if that's because Magnussen's pace has dropped off on this lap. Yeah, Magnussen's pace definitely dropped off. So at the moment we're nearly a second quicker than Magnussen on paper. So we need to start getting some battery very quickly into our cars to get ourselves in a position where we can try and push through. Like I say, we haven't got a massive window left of these tyres being the best option.
Charge on.
Copy.
Good evening, Derek. But after just 9 laps, look how far behind we are to Leclerc. This is why I knew we were going to get lapped at least once in this race, possibly twice.
Charge on.
Copy.
How many stops am I doing? I'm planning a 2-stop, but we'll see what happens with, you know, yellow flags, etc.
Use deploy as much as you can.
Copy.
Do not want to spend too long tucked up behind here. I want to see if we can force the issue a little bit. Got enough battery for a lap and a bit. No pushing here. It's going to be tricky to make a move on Ocon, given that he has DRS, but we might get lucky. And if we can get in between Ocon and Magnussen, it means we can try and charge up and then have a crack at Magnussen. Not getting through just there.
Recharge on.
Copy.
See if we can stay close and keep the pressure on.
Copy.
Use deploy.
Copy.
Right, we're going to be out of battery after going up the hill, so if we're going to get this move done, it needs to happen now.
Stay
And
close to the
Ocon
gas
is now
fields.
out of range of Magnussen, so this is our best opportunity.
No DRS available, no DRS available.
And we are through.
Recharge on.
Copy.
We need to protect the front tires.
Okay.
Use energy.
Great. You always use my trick at Monaco, wonder why I abandoned it for this track. What trick is that?
On tires, we are good to push one step more.
Conserving tyres more often. Trying to be aggressive to force the moves through because our car isn't amazing, so we don't have out and out pace. So we have to really push to make an overtake happen. Even if we have a tyre advantage. But we do want to get our drivers' confidence up quickly as well. That's going to be critical for us at a circuit like this, where our car is lacking, to get our drivers' confidence as high as we can. Give them a chance to
You can push harder.
improve their pace through the corners in the braking zones. And part of that is setting, personal best sectors. Part of that, a big part of that is getting overtakes. Plus, I can be more aggressive on this first set of tyres, knowing that I've got, a two-stop, so I can always hit an extra couple of laps earlier than initially planned. And then just think about looking after the tyres in the second set, or even the final set.
No more overtaking. We need to focus on the energy now.
Copy.
Right now, I want to try and close the gap to Magnussen if I can. Maybe try and just stay a little bit more comfortable to Ocon. But we're reaching the point already where our tyres are going to start falling away. And this is a track where it's really hard to get overtakes done cleanly if you don't have, an amazing car. So you kind of have to push to force those overtakes through. There are no long DRS straights for us to just sit behind and get that charging done, or keep the tyres, protected and stay comfortably in range or striking distance of the car in front. This is a track with very short straights, lots of corners, very high downforce requirements, and our downforce and our dirty air performance is abysmal. And we are not closing him down at the moment, so let's just keep those tyres at standard pace.
So we need one step more management.
Okay.
We'll look for areas where we can
Charge on.
Copy.
improve Yuki's battery with little risk of him being overtaken. It's not flawless, but there is still a chance that he might get picked off at this hairpin, but it's rare that that happens. And then just turn the battery back on for
Recharge.
the important acceleration zones like the tunnel.
Charge on, charge on.
Go.
Recharge on.
Copy.
Now we go recharge on.
Copy.
And charge on, charge on.
Doctor.
Recharge.
Copy.
Recharge on, recharge on.
Copy.
Right, he's doing a good job so far, keeping Ocon at bay. Rumours of Fernando going to Red Bull. Yeah, I can't see that happening. I really can't. I think if they're going to replace Perez with somebody, it's going to be Ricciardo. It's the whole reason they brought him back as a reserve driver, to reevaluate him. They obviously liked what they saw enough to put him in an Alpha Tauri for the second half of the season to continue that rehabilitation. And Mexico will have really gone in his favour.
Recharge on.
Copy.
Of course, remember what happened when Fernando Alonso was teamed with a younger, hungrier driver who was equally, if not more talented than him. It was an utter disaster. And yeah, I can see that being an issue. Maybe not to the same extent as Alonso has aged and matured a bit more, but yeah, Hamilton and Alonso at McLaren in 2007 was an utter disaster, to the point where it cost the team both championships.
Recharge on.
Copy.
Overtake button.
Copy.
So given what we know happened last time, do you really want to put Alonso and Verstappen side by side? Alonso's happy to be the team player at Aston Martin because he knows he's the top dog at Aston Martin. He will not be the top dog. He will be close to top dog at Red Bull, and I don't think that'll sit well with him. It would be fun to see. Yes, it would. I would love to see it, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Recharge on, Yuki, recharge on.
Okay.
There's more lift off towards the tyres.
Yeah, copy.
Push on your front side.
Yeah, copy.
Use energy.
Copy.
Yeah, we've definitely reached that crossover threshold where the softs are now not as good as the hards. De Vries has been losing a bit of time to Bottas behind. And our tyres are still in better shape than most of the other soft runners. So Gasly, Albon, Russell, their tyres are all dead. Verstappen's looking after his tyres.
Need to focus on getting the pack up.
And Ocon has already caught the back of Tsunoda, who has really dropped off the pace again. Partly because we're fuel saving, but not that much. We're into the pit window region. The pit window will open for both cars on the next lap. I am going to box early.
So let's push.
Yeah.
One lap early for De Vries. 2 laps early for Tsunoda.
And let's push now.
Copy.
So it's about 1.1 kilos of fuel. Oh, I looked away for a second and I glanced back up and Tsunoda's crashed.
Idiot.
Well, luckily he's done it right before a
Yeah,
pit
we're
stop.
good.
But he has damaged his suspension in the process, which is not great. Thank you very much, Tsunoda.
Oh dear, a crash! There's been a crash!
What did he do? I glanced down at my notebook just to
Right,
check
let's
the
have a
fuel
look now.
consumption,
Around
and
turn 3.
I looked up to see, you know, a broken
The
front
car
wing on the
makes
car.
contact. That will have knocked their confidence, I'm sure.
Well, that is going to promote De Vries to our number 1 driver for this Grand Prix, I would imagine. At least there's no penalty involved. Russell's in, so he's getting off his soft tyres.
The entry.
Copy.
Eight and a half seconds is about what I was expecting. It's not too bad. A pit stop, considering where to replace the wing. And one good thing, Well, actually, one bad thing is that we've just been lapped. But one good thing is that we're going to have a bunch of cars in front to overtake quite quickly, which will get his confidence level back up, as long as he doesn't keep getting
Charge
lapped
on.
by the cars behind.
And slow down, Yuki. Slow down.
I need him to stay ahead of Verstappen.
Stay close to the car in front.
Overtake button.
Don't pull over, don't pull over, don't pull over. Thank you. He was about to.
Boxing this one.
Copy box.
If he gets lapped, that's curtains for Yuki. He should be very quick on a brand new set of tyres. Just need him to stay ahead. And have to even push the fuel as well. I've just got to make sure we stay clear while those tyres come up to temps.
Focus on bringing the pack back up.
Yeah, copy that.
New personal best in the first sector. That'll give him a little bit of confidence, but Max is close. I don't think we can sustain this.
In the pit lane.
Copy that.
.39, that's a good stop for Nick de Vries. We're out of battery. Oh, Max is boxing. Thank God for that.
Yuki, lift off to avoid instability.
Right, we came out ahead of Gasly and Albon.
Go with charge on, recharge on. We can just focus on charging the pack.
Yeah, copy that.
And that's where de Vries is. So he's in front of the Alfa Romeo.
Back off.
But he has already been lapped by Leclerc. Leclerc will be boxing in a bit. And Max is going soft, medium. So Max is two-stopping.
Recharge on.
How much has that suspension damage hurt the car?
No saving required.
Copy that.
Need to save a little bit more fuel with Yuki, not too much more. Get him down to about where de Vries is on fuel, and he should be fine. Joe is yet to stop. We do need to find a way through. Perez and Alonso starting to close in on the back of us. Perez is only a short distance behind. We'll see him in a second. There he is. And that's Alonso.
Energy now.
Let's get past Norris nice and quick here. Sargent boxes.
Push a bit more.
And Leclerc is in as well, so we're now unlapped again. That's a good solid move there from De Vries on Norris.
Back off a bit.
And Tsunoda got overtaken by Gasly.
No, I can't, sorry.
Yeah, I kind of saw
Keep
that
your
coming.
head down, Yuki. We need to
And there's Perez. So we're going to get lapped pretty quickly, I think. Let's see. Perez is on hard. He's going to be out there for a little bit longer yet. Perez is definitely one stopping this. Right, we've got De Vries through and
Bring
clear.
back up.
Yeah, copy.
Piastri's boxing in front of De Vries. That's one less car for him to have to worry about. I need to start getting the pace up with Tsunoda, otherwise I'm vulnerable to getting passed by Albon here.
Automatic battle.
Who is on softs and is through. Might be retiring
Just
Yuki.
keep our head down. Lift off, save fuel. Charge on, charge on.
He just hasn't looked quick on this set of tyres yet. So De Vries is 18 seconds behind Bottas. I think he's closing. No, 8 seconds behind Bottas. Why did I say it was 18? And definitely lapping quicker. I mean, obviously the last lap was a push lap. Let's see what he does across the line here. Norris boxes. One and a half seconds quicker than Bottas. Okay, that's not too bad. Tsunoda is going to get laps. I'm just waiting for that to happen now. Trying to get some battery in the car, save a little bit more fuel, and then when those two go through, we will try and hang on the back of them and see if we can use them to get our way back past Albon and Gasly and catch up to Zhou, who we were right on the back of, and now we are 3.5 seconds off the back of him. I'm going nowhere fast. Max as well.
Recharge on, recharge on.
Right, Ocon boxes. Reese might be able to jump him here, maybe, if we're lucky. No, he's on his way out of the box. I thought he was on his way in. So, we're not going to get De Vries past Ocon. What tyres is he going on to? Softs. So, he's gone hard soft. That was a very short stint on those hard tyres then. Max has passed us as well. Now we need to see what kind of pace Tsunoda's got. This lap is going to really inform as to whether or not I can keep him out there. It might just be better to just retire him.
Use and deploy when you can.
And we are being caught by Piastri. Again, he's on softs. But if Yuki's just going to keep going backwards with no confidence, there's no point keeping him out there. And this carnage of cars getting lapped is why I wanted to keep, get Yuki lapped first, so we could then attack this chaos in front of us. Let's see if we can find a way through.
Can push one step more.
We need these overtakes to get Yuki's confidence back up.
Charge on.
Back off, back off, back off.
Charge on.
We're not even looking like we've got a chance of staying with them at the moment, which is just really disheartening. He's got a couple more laps. He's still in DRS range at the moment, just. Oh, he missed it this lap. I don't have any battery, which is going to make getting past these guys almost impossible. Yuki's confidence is only going to rebound very slowly. If I have to convert Tsunoda to a soft medium, then I'll do it, but I don't know if he's going to stay on track that long.
Press and overtake.
Last time we pushed like this through this corner, he crashed. Not going to do it this time. He's not going to get through either.
Recharge on. And we need charge on.
use.
Come on, Yuki, please. Give me some signs of life here. Give me a reason to keep you on track. Just not seeing it.
Charge on.
Meanwhile, De Vries is about to get lapped by Charles Leclerc, but he's closing in on Bottas quite nicely here. Tsunoda is really struggling. I'm just going to box. I'm just going to retire him. I don't think he's got anything left. We're already destroying these tyres just to try and stay on the back of Albon.
We box.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Try to bring it back to the pits. Sorry.
I'll just save what's left of that engine. And we got a yellow flag. Someone's crashed.
Crash ahead.
Oh, Joe, it's the guy who's been holding everybody up. He just kind of got squeezed into the wall a little bit there by Ocon. No VSC, no safety car. No retirement, just a little bit of damage. He'll box at the end of this lap, I would imagine. Let's see. He's still got Sargent stuck behind him. He is missing part of his front wing. He will have done some damage to those tyres as well. Oh yeah, look at those tyres. And that's 10%. He's going to be crawling around and boxing at the end of this lap. He's still holding up Sargent. And you just know that would be Yuki in that position, just getting held up like crazy by a car that's really crippled. There we go, he's finally through. He's got a puncture. His left rear just blew. Not changing the front wing. They must not have a spare front wing. Wow. Okay, that's Joe's race ruined. Not that it was going to be a great race anyway, given where he was, but yeah, it's well and truly done now. In a situation like that, I would have retired that car. That is something I would like to see the AI do a bit more, just retire their cars rather than keeping them out there. If they don't have a replacement part and they can't lap to within a certain time, they should just go, right, that's it. Right, we lost a little bit of time to Bottas getting lapped. Bottas himself has now been lapped, so it looks as though we are a bit slow at the moment. Let's rectify that. We've got faster tyres and more durable, or more amount of rubber on our tyres at the moment. We should be closing Bottas quickly here. Maybe he's on a push lap. See, maybe we can salvage something with De Vries this afternoon rather than just a lower midfield finish. Can we maybe threaten the top 10? That would be nice. Really like to get this overtake on Bottas done before he boxes,
We need to
so we
focus
get
on
that
the energy
confidence
now.
boost, push
Copy
De
that.
Vries closer to peak confidence, and it's not too far away. Andrew will be stopping soon.
We can push more.
Yeah, copy that.
Got to get him on this lap.
Use everything.
Copy.
No saving required.
Yeah, copy that.
No more overtake.
Copy.
There we go. Nice clean overtake up the inside at Sandoval.
Need to focus on getting the pack up.
Copy that.
And that should be all
So
she wrote
slow.
for Bottas. Okay, so we're 15 seconds behind Ocon. Last lap, Ocon did a 1:15.2. We did 15.4, but we were using ERS in the first sector. Let's see what we can do on this lap. Looks like Bottas is trying to push. Maybe he's boxing at the end of this lap. Hulkenberg's in. This will be his one and only stop. Not the quickest. Had problems with his left rear there. He will get out just in front of us, I think. Yeah, and he's on fresh mediums to our worn mediums, so we probably aren't going to catch him up. 4 seconds to gap. Might come down a little bit on this lap, but then it will start to go back up again as his tyres get up to temp. And we're half a second slower than Ocon. That's not ideal. Wow, mind you, Ocon's on those soft tyres. I forgot about that. So that will switch. Given Russell's tyres, He went soft and he burnt those out pretty quickly, and he's burning his mediums out pretty quickly as well. We might see more mediums or even hard tyres for Russell rather than soft at the end. So Perez is going to be coming in for his one and only stop soon, as is, speaking of the devil, there he is, boxing. So is Hamilton, so is Magnussen. Magnussen might box at the end of this lap. Clean stop there. There's Hamilton. Right, Magnussen boxes. He was holding up Russell. This is his one and only stop. He's just about managed to drop Bottas now. So we might see Valtteri box very soon as well. Not this lap. Going to happen soon though. Probably the same lap as Hamilton boxes. So looking at the cars in front, is there anyone we can realistically challenge? Depends how quick we are on the soft as to whether or not we can actually pose any kind of threat to the two Haas drivers. Possibly. Ocon, I don't know what tyres he's going on next. Possibly soft, possibly mediums. Hamilton comes in. Medium tyres for his one and only stop. He's a long way ahead of us though. I think we're going to need a retirement or two to get into the points. And there goes Valtteri.
Bottas pitted.
Clean stop, but it's not a quick stop. Speaking of stops, I should have boxed Tsunoda, try and get a faster time on his pit thing. Never mind. Got to remember to keep remembering to do that. As Perez laps Bottas. I think that's Perez. Yeah, it is. That was Perez. Showing an okay kind of pace. It's not amazingly consistent, it's fluctuating a little bit. That's based on your accuracy stat. The higher your accuracy stat, the more consistent your lap times. We can actually start to push these tyres a little bit now. I'm going to save a little bit more fuel in the process.
Big lift off.
As Max comes in again. It's him through to the end now. He's gone soft, medium. He's got a big gap to Sainz. He's going to comfortably come out ahead of him. Leclerc is probably going to have to stop again. Wonder if he's going to go softs for his next stint. I would imagine he would if he's got a set available. We are losing a little bit of time to Hulkenberg while we're fuel saving, and also to Gasly behind us. Well, Hulkenberg has just been lapped, so that's lost him a little bit of time. It's cost him about 1.5 seconds getting out the way, nearly 2 seconds actually getting out the way of Max. Want to save just an extra couple of 100 grams of fuel, get that down to about 1.5, and then we'll stop saving again. We're a lap down, so we can afford to be 1.1 under when we cross the line at the end of the last lap. More than that means we will not finish. Right, there we go.
No
now we can
saving
start
required.
to push a little bit more. So we're stopping in 4 laps.
Good to push.
Copy.
Sainz on Alonso in a squabble. Let's check in on that. Sainz is... well, they're both due to stop soon. Alonso definitely got the faster compounder tyre, and he gets that move done. Perez is close behind as well. He should pick off Sainz if Sainz doesn't box this lap. Which he might well do, actually, given the state of those tyres. And he's already out of DRS waiting for Alonso. Yeah, if I was up Sainz, I'd be boxing this lap. And he does. So, soft tyres for the Ferrari. Not a bad stop. Big wave of traffic coming through. He'll have to negotiate. Will he get out in front of Stroll? No, he won't. And we are closing on Hulkenberg. Evening SITV. What's my thoughts on the current state of City Skylines 2? I kind of haven't paid too much attention to it since I knew it wasn't going to be coming out for consoles this year after all. I've kind of drifted away from watching some of the videos. I will start picking those back up again as we get closer to an actual release date for the PS5, but I mean, it still looks a really, really good game. Everything mechanically works really well. It's just, you know, obviously the performance issues are letting it down right now. But when it works properly, you know, players are loving it. It's just getting it to work properly for any kind of sustained period of time. Right, we are absolutely rocking up to the back of Hulkenberg. If we can get an overtake done on Hulkenberg before we box, that would be awesome. I don't think we're going to catch him in time though. Could potentially stretch these tyres a little bit longer. PC specs for CS2 are quite high. Yeah, they upped them before release. They said, okay, yeah, you've got a system that can do this. You're right in the system that can do this. And even on a powerful rig, apparently it still has some optimizing issues. I know they just released a big patch which has addressed quite a lot of stuttering, but there are still obviously big issues. But I mean, they have a good history of supporting their games and patching and improving on a continual basis. So I'm not worried about the future of City Skylines 2. It might take a little longer than hoped to get it to a really good place, but it'll happen. I just hope that we don't have these kind of issues with the console release. And if it means it gets pushed back to Q2 of next year, again, not ideal, but I would rather wait than have it released how it was on PC. Russell has boxed. He's gone on to set of softs. Gasly's boxed behind us, so we need to be wary of an undercut, and we are not gaining on Hulkenberg because he's pushing. So let's go ahead and make that stop now.
Box.
Copy. Box and snap.
You think they rushed it? I don't think necessarily they rushed it. I think they probably spent... I think they probably shouldn't have bothered doing the remastered version. I think that will have taken some time and resources away from their development of the sequel. And given that, you know, they remastered out beginning of this year, only to then almost immediately after they released it announce City Skylines 2 to come out later this year, it was kind of a case of what was the point. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have done the remastered version. I mean, if they hadn't done that, then I can imagine that the sequel would have definitely been better at launch, because they would have had more time and resources to focus on it. And we might even have got the console launch this year as well. Oh, come on, it's a bad start. That leaves us vulnerable to Gasly.
Caution while on exit.
You have it on pre-order. Is that for Xbox? Because Sony cancelled all the pre-orders and refunded it. It's no longer available on the store to pre-order.
You can use energy.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn it, I was hoping we could stay ahead. Maybe we can. Come on. Oh, you did it on Amazon. Ah, see, I did it on the PlayStation Network, and when it was announced that they were...
We can just focus on charging a pack.
having to delay the game, Sony cancelled all the PS5 pre-orders on their storefront. So I got my refund on that about 4 or 5 days after the notification. Amazon obviously has got a different policy.
Back off in the high speed.
Yeah, copy that.
Arriving 2nd of January, that's a placeholder date. It's not coming out on the 2nd of January. At the earliest, it's probably not going to come out till March. Again, especially after they're having to divert some resources and attention that they would maybe have used to polish up the console version by fixing the PC version. So yeah, I would say March at the earliest that we'll see that. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if it gets pushed back further.
Push more.
Yeah, copy that.
Focus on bringing the pack back up.
Alright, we should be back in DRS range now. Yes, we are. Good stuff. New personal best lap for Nick De Vries. Helps give him a little bit more confidence and keep him ahead of Gasly. That's why I pushed the car hard to get back into the DRS zone. We're only going to lap 77 because we're a lap down, so that gives us a little bit more leeway on the tyre, but not a huge amount more. And obviously we don't have to worry about the fuel.
Back off now.
Copy.
So the question now is, can we stay close enough to the back of Sainz and Stroll? To protect us from Gasly, who's looking pacey.
Pick up the pace.
Yeah, copy that.
Stroll's on hard tyres, so that will make it a little bit easier to stay with him. It's still going to be tricky because that Aston is quick. And we are closing on the cars in front, but not substantially. We came out 30 seconds behind Hulkenberg, there or thereabouts. We've got that down to 28 seconds. But we've only got 18 laps to go.
Use energy.
Yeah, A firm.
We get back on the back of Sainz here and break away from Gasly if I can. And I can't do either. Never mind.
Bring the pack up.
Copy.
Alright, so the pipe dream of staying with those cars in front is over. Now we just need to make sure we don't lose position to Gasly. Let's see, let's check in with Hulkenberg, see where he is. There he is. There's no immediate traffic around him that's going to slow him down or cause him to slow down to be lapped. There's only the one car close to him, and that's Perez, who is a couple of corners behind him. There's Perez, and then a bit of a gap to Sainz and Stroll. And we have Alonso coming through behind us now. Got to be wary that we don't get picked off by Gasly here as we move over to let Alonso through.
We need to focus on the energy now.
Copy that.
Slow now.
Copy.
Yeah, I was worried that was going to happen, and I don't think we can defend that, so we'll continue to charge and rebuild. I glanced down to look at Derek's comment, and I look back up, and we've just red flagged the race. What the hell happened?
This happened as they arrived at turn 12.
No, we just drove into the wall. Oh, God damn it.
That's a pretty big impact there. And that's not what they would have had in
I'm seeing
mind when they
sparks
woke
from the
up
power
this morning.
unit as well. So that's a retirement. Otherwise it wouldn't have been a red flag.
And clearly they're not what everyone in the garage would have wanted to see.
I just had to go and open my mouth at the start of this race and say we haven't had any Melbourne incidents for a while. And both cars are out.
It's time to pick up where we left off as the race restarts.
Well, let's see who wins this Grand Prix. It's now open season between Verstappen and Leclerc.
And away we go.
Everyone will have put on brand new soft tyres, or the best tyres they've got. Perez has jumped Leclerc at the start. Leclerc is fighting back. There's only been 2 retirements and both of them were us. That isn't encouraging. We've got a 15-lap sprint that we are not involved in. So let's have a little question in the chat. Who do we think is going to win this race? What's your top 3? You should have stayed AFK. I'm blaming Derek for this one. Derek asked a question or made a comment. I glanced to look at that, and we know what happened when I glanced away to look at my notebook. See, you know, we crashed Tsunoda, and then we had to just retire because his car was screwed over. And then Derek read a comment, and I glanced, and immediate red flag. So I'm blaming Derek for this one. Derek thinks Perez is going to win. He's got a better tyre, but not by much, and he doesn't have the pace of Max. I think Max is going to win this. I think we're probably looking at that running order being the top three. In that order, Perez, Verstappen, Verstappen, Perez, and Charles Leclerc. God, I can't say names today. There is a fastest lap for Max. Alonso is keeping a watching brief on the back of Sainz. Two Mercedes in close order. Let's have some Russell vision. We've not had that for a while. I'm going to go with Leclerc in second, Perez in third. That's my running order for the podium. I think Max, then Charles, then Checo. Sainz has got past Stroll. And Leclerc has got past Perez briefly. And there we go. Charles completes the move, and there it's Stroll dive bombing Sainz, getting back through again. The way Mercedes is coded into the game long term is bad. No, not really. I've seen Mercedes pick themselves up in Season 2. It all depends on staffing and drivers. They signed Magnussen on almost all PC saves. I've not seen that. Evening, Steve. Sorry you missed the race. Why are both drivers out? Yuki crashed, destroyed his front wing and damaged his suspension, and we tried to keep him out for a bit, but it became clear that he just wasn't going to have any pace thanks to that suspension damage, so we just retired the car manually to save wear and tear on the engine. And Derek said something in the chat, and that immediately caused debris to torpedo a barrier and bring out a red flag. More money to spend on parts. Well, yeah, the parts themselves are not too much of an issue. It's the engine stuff that's not good. We're already looking at spending another 20 odd million on engine parts for the rest of this season, and possibly we might have to pay more than that. We don't know how much damage De Vries did to his car when it hit the barrier. It was instant retirement, so we lost access to take a look at the car itself. We won't know until we get back to the HQ after this Grand Prix. Nine laps left. Break the cost cap if it means I'm closer to the top 10. If I break the cost cap, I don't think I'll still be in a job. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. It's a safety car. Ooh, it's almost crashed.
Now we've got an incident here, and as I
Russell.
understand it, George Russell's involved. Here's the replay. It was George Russell involved.
Yeah, that's essentially what Tsunoda did. And he broke his front wing terminally and damaged his suspension in the process. So that's George's race ruin.
The team had hoped today, that is for sure.
Oh, he's out. He's out completely. That's why it's a safety car, because it's a retirement. Oh, 2nd of January 2025 on that pre. Yeah, like I said, it's a placeholder date. There's no confirmed release date yet. All they've said is they're aiming to get it out in Q1 next year. But that announcement was before the PC version was announced to be in rough shape. So we're going to have just a small number of laps left once the safety car comes in. God damn, if we kept De Vries out, we could potentially have managed to sneak a point. Maybe. We'd be running in 11th place right now. Actually, no, we've been 12th because we did get passed by Gasly, and then we were just hanging behind him. We weren't even pushing as well. That's the annoying thing with De Vries. We weren't pushing to try and get back past. We had him in charge mode. We were looking after the tyres a little bit, and he just went straight to the wall, finding his way through traffic, I think it was. Weekend for Mercedes. Hamilton is 7th, not likely to improve on that given the pace deficit that they have to the Astons. Stroll and Sykes will resume hostilities on the restart. That's the state of everyone's tyres. I've got to say, Sainz might be vulnerable to Stroll. Leclerc may be vulnerable to Perez. You would have thought Tsunoda's car would be a write-off. No, Tsunoda's car wasn't too bad. I mean, it didn't damage the engine components. Thank God, because we've already written off one set of engine parts. But I say he broke the front wing, and he did do some suspension damage, but that was it. But you know, it was just, yeah, it was not good. De Vries, yeah, De Vries' car. I saw sparks while we were waiting for the red flag to bring the race to a halt. So that does make me wonder whether we have done some kind of significant damage. I'm hoping it's just a gearbox. Alright, 6 laps left. Safety car will probably be in at the end of this lap, so it looks like we're going to have 5 laps of racing. Oh, actually no, less than that, because Norris and Co are a lap down, so they're going to get unlapped. So we've got at least one more lap of the safety car. At least one more lap, maybe 2 more laps, because they're going to let Norris and Co unlap themselves. De Vries is going to be costing me more money than he's bringing in. He isn't bringing anything to the team. Well, he's potentially done less damage to his car than Tsunoda's done. We still don't know what was the actual cause of that crash at Melbourne, whether it was De Vries or Tsunoda. Neither driver got a penalty, so it was a racing incident, but I don't know who triggered it. Because we couldn't really tell from the replay angle. We just saw smoke and bits of carbon fibre, and that was it. They still haven't given the order to let lap cars through. Any big upgrades next race? No, unfortunately. We're going to Barcelona after this. And then we will have a new front and rear wing for Montreal after Barcelona. But, we're really having to be very frugal with our car developments, knowing that we need replacement powertrains. So, yeah, once those wings are on, that might be it for the rest of this first half of the season, before we can even think about other upgrades, which isn't ideal. Plus, I need to make sure we've got research in place for next year's car, so we might have already peaked at Baku, and it might just be downhill for the rest of the season from there. But I am going to evaluate putting Lawson in the car for the second half of the season, De Vries is out of contract this year, so we can break that contract. Right, what happened to Sargent there? Or is that out? No, it's Albon that they've just gone through. I thought that was Sargent for a second. Sargent is a little bit further ahead, making his way through. That's Bottas. Getting in the way of his teammate. Man, we're only going to have like 3 laps of racing at the end here. We might not even get 3 laps. We might only get 2 laps at this rate. So big advantage for Norris here. He's got a nice 9-second lead over Sargent now. Sargent now clears the safety car. Well, you only really need to do research on parts that are going to be affected by regulation changes. You don't need to do research on other parts. You can just keep developing those, because they will carry across. It's only if you've got, you know, regulation changes affecting a particular part that you need to kind of get your research on those, because that will be what's affected. Still got that broken front wing for Zhou. Again, don't know why he's still out there, but the whole grid is clear of the safety car now. Will we see the car coming in at the end of this lap, or are we going to have yet another lap behind the safety car? The safety car is coming in, so we're going to get just 2 laps of racing. Everyone makes it through turn 1. Well, everyone in the train anyway. Norris is still 22 seconds off the back of Albon. No, hang on, we're on the leader. He's 16 seconds off the back. There we go. There will be no DRS reactivation. It's going to be pure pace. It's going to determine where cars finish. Max is going to win. Can Leclerc hang on for second? Hamilton's looking aggressive on the back of Alonso, who has dropped off the back of Stroll. Ride the ham cam. I don't think anyone's close enough to have a lunge. Maybe Gasly and Hulkenberg, but even that I don't think is going to happen. Yeah, that's it. That's your running order. Max wins, Leclerc in second, Perez third, Sainz fourth, fifth and sixth for the two Astons, seventh for Hamilton, eighth and 10th for Haas. That's big points for them. That will probably see them jump us in the Constructors. That's 5 points for them. That might actually put them level, actually, thinking about it. I don't know. They'll either be level or a point ahead of us, I think.
It's not been Nick de Vries's day. Pretty disastrous, to be honest.
That'll be quite a blow, having to cut their race short, but they'll be doing everything they can to come back stronger.
And no doubt, Verstappen fans will be celebrating the Dutchman's achievement.
6 wins now in this season, they're not flagging. A mighty impressive victory.
6 wins from 7 races for
always a special
Max.
occasion here in the incomparable Monte Carlo. They'll be pushing the boat out here tonight, no doubt. And down there in the Alpha Tauri garage, Karun, what would they be making of that race, do you think?
It's not been the greatest weekend. Both drivers need to step up and show what they can do, and the team have to be there to support them.
And thank you everyone for joining us this weekend here in Monaco.
Formula One will be back to Europe for the next round, on the shores of the Mediterranean, with some heated competition to look forward to in Spain.
So Max wins ahead of Leclerc and Perez. We've already run down the running order. Let's take a quick look at the bottom of the table. You see Norris gaining 6 places after starting in the bottom. In reality, he only gained 3 because there were 3 retirements in front of him. But you know, not bad. Gasly coming back through the field well, as we kind of expected. This is kind of the area that we were looking to finish around this, you know, P11 position with de Vries if he hadn't brought out the red flag. Let's see. In terms of the Drivers' Constructors' Championships, looking at the drivers first, maximum points for him. He is now 49 points clear of Perez. Leclerc retakes 3rd place from Alonso. They are tied on points, but Leclerc has that race win this season, which Alonso does not, which is why he's in 3rd. Stroll in 5th, Sainz in 6th, Hamilton stays 7th. No points for Russell or Gasly. Ocon starts to close them down a little bit, but he's still a long way off them. Magnussen gaining some good points there. Yuki, no position gain for him. He drops 2 places thanks to his 2nd DNF of the season. Nick de Vries also no points gained for him. Hulkenberg gets himself a point, so that's his first point of the season. We are tied on 8 points, but I think because we got the 8th place finish first, in the season. We might hang on in the Constructors. We shall find out in a second. Hulkenberg's first point of the season means that's one less driver who's yet to get off the mark. That is Albon, Sargent, Norris, Piastri, Bottas and Zhou. Into the Constructors, and Haas do overtake us, unfortunately. That's annoying. So we are still level on points with them, but we are demoted down to 7th. We're still ahead of our target for the season, which is 8th. So that's okay. Let's have a look at the pit stop challenge. That was a good stop from De Vries, but unfortunately his second stop was rubbish, and we forgot to do another stop with Tsunoda before we retired him. So just the 10 points for us this weekend in the pit stop challenge. We stay in 4th place. We're still within striking distance of Alpine, and we are comfortably ahead of Mercedes at the moment. McLaren getting some good solid points there this weekend, moves them above Williams. But there we see we had a pit stop mistake, a carjack delay on De Vries' second stop, and Yuki's first stop was because we had to change his front wing, which is why it was an 8.5 second stop, not 7.5. Just the 3 overtakes for De Vries, 1 failed overtake, 1 successful, 1 failed defence. Yuki, it's kind of a bit of a flip on the overtaking, 3 failed, 1 successful, and then he was defending 7 times successfully and 2 failed. Not a great afternoon for our cars. In terms of sponsors, well, we failed the finish position and the reach Q3 quali incentives, but we did keep the finish position streak going. I'm not quite sure how. That bug still seems to be in the game from last year's game. I'm not going to complain. There's an extra 280 grand. And we did keep our quali targets on the guarantees, getting both cars into Q2 and both in the top 15. You wonder how I'm going to have to balance new car parts research and upgrades needed to survive this season. Yeah, like I said, we're probably going to have to cancel development for quite some time after these wings come through. Let's see, what is the state of the powertrain? It was gearbox only that we suffered damage, although maybe the engine took a little bit of a knock. I think the ERS might have taken a little bit of a knock as well. Speaking of ERS, let's go ahead and buy that new one that we need for him now. While we have those funds, we've still got 2 mil in the bank. Let's get these parts replaced. That goes our spare chassis, or one of our spare chassis. We've got 2 front wings left now, and they're both on the car, so no spares. We're making 1. We're going to need to make another one. The spare we did make has immediately gone onto De Vries' car. Rear wings are okay. Side pods, we do have some spare side pods. One's failed. I have to replace that. Replace that floor. That is our suspension situation. We've lost 2. We only had 1 spare, so we'll have to put Tsunoda on the new one and De Vries on the older one until we can get another one of those made. Let's replace that side pod. Okay, and now let's take a look at what we stand with in terms of parts. So we desperately need more suspensions. Front wings, we're going to have to make another front wing at least. Rear wings were okay. Chassis, we could do another chassis, could do another side pod, another underfloor. Yeah, a fair few bits coming up. So let's extend that to... Let's see, we've only got the 1 of these, haven't we? We're going to need 3 suspensions. Was it 3? Yeah, 3 suspensions. I need... do I only go with the 1 front wing or 2? I'm just going to go with the 1 front wing. I just want 1 spare for Barcelona. We'll have new rear wings and front wings for Montreal So I don't want to go overboard. Could do with another chassis. I need another underfloor, but I need to make sure I've got time to manufacture the wings. They're 9 and 10 days away. So I could probably only do one chassis. That'll take 10 days. Okay. Underfloors, how long is that going to take? 8 days. Oh, that's okay. So we'll get the underfloor slot freed up the day before the front wings are done, and then the rear wings will be ready on the same day that the chassis is done. Excellent stuff. So we will have 2 manufacturing slots free for those. There we go. That's all of our money gone already. We're down to just under 600,000 again. But we have bought ourselves another ERS unit for De Vries. We still need new engines for both cars. Possibly 2 engines for Sonoda. But certainly 1 new engine each. That's 10 million. We might well need another ERS unit for each driver. That's another 5 million for the pair. We're going to need probably another gearbox for each car as well. That's another 2 million. So we're looking at least another 17 million in parts for our powertrains this season. Our cost cap is sitting at 80 million left, and as you can see, emergency purchases at the moment is just 5 million. That's what we spent so far. If you add that onto the 17 that we've got to spend, that's 22 million in new powertrain parts. That's a big, hefty chunk of our cost cap already gone. We're going to leave him on wheel-to-wheel training to improve his braking and control, unless we can find something else that will give us those. Not really. Yeah, we'll leave him on wheel-to-wheel. Let's have a look at Sonoda. Sonoda is on wet track at the moment to improve control, smoothness and adaptability. That's fine. I'll leave him on those. How is Lawson getting on? He's still on short run pace. He needs to work on his cornering and adaptability and accuracy. So that's probably the best place to leave him. His braking's looking good. Although we could maybe, because his braking's pretty good, let's move him on to long run pace. And I'll keep working on his cornering, his smoothness, his adaptability and his reactions. Yeah, let's move him on to long run pace with a view to maybe putting him in the car after the mid-season break. Okay, we're going to have rain at Barca. What's my driver's adaptability ratings like? 76 for De Vries, 77 for Sonoda, so about the same. And it looks like it's going to be heavy rain as well on race day. So that could make things a little interesting. Great. Wind tunnel data concern. I can't delay those wings anymore. We're just going to have to deny the investigation and hope there's nothing wrong, because I need those wings. Alright. Monthly finances for the month are in. Board has high confidence in my leadership at the moment, although, you know, we've had those 2 disappointed, so that hasn't helped. But we haven't broken the cost cap. We haven't gone into debt yet this season, which is keeping the board happy. We have had those delighted results where we have had points at Sakir and Baku, and a fastest lap at Miami, and I think a fastest lap at Imola as well, maybe. No, Baku we got a fastest lap. I'm not sure if we got one at Imola. So we do have high confidence. We are ahead of our target position, which is excellent stuff. Let's get our driver updates in at C. So we had an improvement in cornering, control and defending this month for De Vries. Let's see what he does in the new month of June. And let's see, adaptability went up 2 points and control went up 1 point for Yuki. So that adaptability gain was quite fortuitous to have happened right before we get a very heavy wet race. That's nice. And Lawson improved his cornering by a point, his braking by 2, and his accuracy by 2. So definitely a good month for Lawson. Red Bull have unveiled a new front wing. Ferrari are below where they expected to be, but they're not that far off. I mean, they're third in the constructors and third in the drivers. If we take a look there, you can see Aston are 6 points clear of Ferrari at the moment, although they did take a big chunk out of them in that last Grand Prix. Gap reduced by 12 points, but we do see that Leclerc is in third place in the drivers. So a bit of a mixed bag for Ferrari. Aston are pretty strong. Let's get our pit training in. So going into Barcelona, our pit crew will be okay. Can I sneak in a little bit of training? Probably not. Try. Oh, I can. Alright, what about if I do a bit of training in the afternoon as well? They're fine with that. Okay, let's go full gym training. Yeah, well, it hasn't really had much of an impact. Their fatigue level stays the same. We've got plenty of time before Canada to get some solid training in, so let's give them the Monday off. Let's go with some gym training and some pit stop training. Still going to be going in decent shape. That's about as much as we can do there. I wonder, is it actually worth us? Try focusing just on gym training before Austria. Looks like we can get a bit more in. Yeah, there we go. I'm okay with that. So, once again, our mistake chances will devolve just a little bit, but we will improve our pit stop times fractionally, hopefully, over the month. And I think that's it for our race tonight. We have got some money in the bank, and we're going to get some money at the end of this Grand Prix. So while I've got this cash, let's go ahead and look at powertrains. So that's our situation for Nick de Vries. That's our situation for Tsunoda. Oh, we can't yet because we haven't actually started using the other engines. Okay. ERS situation. Yeah, we've only got like 1 or 2 more races on this unit before we have to take that one out and start using that one in races. Gearbox situation. 2.5 gearboxes left for Yuki. 2 and 2 practice gearboxes available. So slightly worse off for gearboxes on De Vries. Right. I don't really want to break out brand new engines for Spain. I think we'll maybe break out new engines for Montreal. That's it for tonight. In terms of F1, I am going to be taking a quick break of about 10-15 minutes, and then I'm just going to do a couple hours worth of streaming of RoboCop for you. I won't really probably be talking on that stream that much. I'll just let the gameplay speak for itself. But yeah, I'll do that for you for tonight. I will look at doing some kind of series, maybe video series for RoboCop going forward. I need to have a sit down and think about how I want to go about that. But yeah, not the greatest of races again tonight, unfortunately. Another double DNF. Our engine bills are already racking up quite high for this year, and with very little money coming in, it really is making things very tricky for us. I don't know whether sticking with De Vries or replacing him with Lawson is I don't know which way is going to be the right way to go. I would imagine probably sticking with De Vries, just because he's got a slightly better overall stat than Lawson. We'll have to see how Lawson continues to develop over the next few races, and we'll look to make that decision probably after Spa, as we head into the mid-season break before Zandvoort. As for F1, we'll be back tomorrow with Spain at the usual time, around 8 PM UK time, and I will see you for some RoboCop in about 15 minutes. If not, thanks for watching. I am Jumbob, and I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.